I'm recording this at damn near 3 in the morning because either NBC or Fox's YouTube channel took fucking long, way too fucking long to get this shit uploaded. So I came up with the first one available who uploaded first, and excuse me, it turned out to be NBC. And this race for me with the fanboy cap on did not get off to a great start for me, like at all. My first truck race since the Charlotte race on Memorial Day, and my homeboy Hemric's race was over before it even started because he had a flat tire he knew nothing about until it was too late. So it took him out of contention, but he's already locked into the chase. So therefore, he doesn't have to worry about any chase implications. So he's all set like Jimmy Johnson on that front. But even though Corey Heim was the pole sitter and he did, and it was Ty Majeski that had the truck to beat tonight. I mean, it was his win, and I know there was a lot of people, a few, like two or three people who took the fight to him, later in the race towards the end, which we'll get to that in a little bit. But, he took home stage 1 and 2. But even besides the Majeski domination with being the fastest and most dominant truck, there was still some great wheel-to-wheel racing throughout the entire field. It wasn't all that crazy, but it wasn't too big of a snooze. It wasn't even a snooze fest either. It was all good old-fashioned, great short-track wheel-to-wheel racing. We even saw 3 and 4 wide for a whole ass lap around the action track known as the Richmond International Raceway. La reina de la noche, la diosa de voodoo. And Bitch Boy Ben, aka the fake ass 2-time champion, and fake ass Jeff Burton was in a must win situation to get into the chase for the cup. At first, it looked like he was going to point his way through, but he was on a mission. He had needed a large portion of the race to stay green, but thanks to the hero Dawson Sutton, he got fucked like he deserves. Like he's the fake Jeff Burton and fake ass 2-time Mickey Mouse Craftsman Truck Series champion that he is. So therefore, he was put in must win, and Jake Garcia gave him the ass whooping he deserved, and he should have gotten it after the bullshit he caused at Gateway in 2016. Causing 3 unnecessary wrecks before he eventually not intentionally wrecked himself. So that's why I don't like Bitch Boy Ben. I've not liked him since then, and I'll never forgive him for how much of a wrecking ball weapon, taking time bomb that he was on the track back then. And speaking of Dawson Sutton, here it is right here. This is the caution that ended, Bitch Boy Ben's chase hopes in the Craftsman Truck Series. So we had Chandler Smith first, trying to take it to Ty Majeski, the dominant truck. And Corey Heim didn't even dominate this race, but even despite sitting on the pole, and he still found a way to win it. But we'll get to how Majeski lost this race in a little bit, because wow, I mean, I'll get more on that later, but yeah, at least he had some competition besides eventual winner Corey Heim. Jake Garcia was doing whatever Bitch Boy Ben did, and kept him in sight all race long. And look at this restart here. And the 44 spun, but it was no need for a caution because he was able to get it back going again, and it was at the back of the pack. So attaboy to NASCAR for not throwing in a necessary yellow, which I thought they were gonna do. And look at this man who also gave Heim and Majeski some competition. Well, too late now. Kaden Honeycutt still made the chase for the Craftsman Trucks chase for the Cup. We're doing it for 3 different teams in the chase era in terms of quote unquote playoffs. Because fuck that name. Oh yeah, look at this. This is what lost Majeski the race. This is what lost him the race. Apparently, there was oil on the track. Spencer Boyd spun in the oil too, just trying to avoid the accident. So apparently, Crafton ran over the oil, lost control, and he went to chase it up the track to try to save it. He just inadvertently happened to get into his teammate who was on the outside. So talk about a team killer. And Dorsport Racing in the 2025 Kroger 200 at the Richmond International Raceway. Looked like Sammy Smith was going to steal the win and pull off an upset, but it was since Majeski was out of the picture, and the damage of the rear end really affected his truck. Then he wasn't the same dominant fast truck that he once was for the most of the race. So it really hindered his dominant force of nature that handed an easy win to Corey Heim. This is not only the first time Heim has won back-to-back truck races, but the first time I've seen him win a race that he hasn't dominated. So I guess congratulations to hopefully the eventual champion, Hemric fanboy cap off. Look at the pit crew member picking the other pit crew member up like Pat Sajak. Congratulations to Corey Heim on, I think, his 7th win of the 2025 NASCAR Craftsman truck season in a race he didn't dominate for once despite sitting on the pole. I think this is the first time in the chase era since 2004, whether it be the 2004 to 2012 format, or no, 2004, 2010 format, the original, or the upgraded 2011, 2013 wildcard format, or even this garbage ass playoff format from 2014 to now, that a driver has made the chase / playoffs with 3 different teams. So that's mighty impressive that Kaden Honeycutt could do that. But prayers up to Stuart Friesen, but at least he gets to still be his substitute driver's boss, since he owns partial part of that team, which is why the sponsor he has on the truck is basically belongs to him too. So, and there was something else I was gonna say. Oh yeah, Chandler Smith also brought the fight to Heim Majeski before Corey Heim decided to stole the win after Craftsman unintentionally wrecked his teammate and hindered his domination, and the strength that the truck had, and which proved allowed it to have its dominant force of nature. So the Craftsman Truck Series playoffs are all set. Personally, even though I'm not going to that race because my dad is not too crazy about trucks anymore. I'm not either, but I watch it a tad bit more than he does nowadays. He doesn't watch too much NASCAR no more like I do still. Kind of like how we used to on Lenore and Sandhurst. We used to watch it together in the living room on Lenore in Michigan, the house that gave me NASCAR, every single Sunday afternoon and Saturday night. But I'm hoping that Hemric, personally, fanboy cap on, takes home the title, so I can get another Hemric, championship win diecast where I can have an Xfinity and a truck one. But if Hemric don't get it, I would like to see Corey Heim take it, even though he does kind of stink up the show. But realistically, you got to put that aside for a second with the fanboy cap off if you want to be a real regular viewer instead of getting your personal feelings involved. As long as the bullshit reality of the playoff format doesn't get in the way, as in being the most dominant man all year only to come away of the end of the season empty-handed without the trophy, he should be a lock for the championship. Because as much as he stinks up the show, I get it, but personal feelings aside, it's long overdue that he wins a Craftsman Truck Championship and is a Sunday racer suit in Winston Cup. If you want to put him in a Busch Grand National ride, okay, cool, but even then, I think he's too good for that. So I know my boy Riley ain't going anywhere because of that Monster Energy money, Riley fan or not. So therefore, it's rumored that he might take over Spire Car in 2026 in Winston Cup, but only time will tell. I will have a video out on, going over the 2026 NASCAR Winston Cup schedule, as well as Busch Grand National Craftsman Truck when it eventually gets fully released. And I think, Monday, sometime next week, in between all this college farewell tour stuff, I will have, a video talking about the Spurs, 2025-26 schedule, and, my, mild rants of Olenek taking Mills' number as another imposter in San Antonio is among us, the newest member on my shit list. The next San Antonio video, I will be addressing a lot of Spurs news that I haven't, been able to go over yet, because I don't know any of the official confirmation of the fate of my homeboys from last year's team, Charles Bassey and Bismack Biyombo, but as soon as I find out what the fate of them is officially, it's confirmed, I will immediately pass it along to you. We'll make a video and we'll go from there. So I'm going to end this video / race review a little differently than usual. So with the Kroger 200 out of the way and the Craftsman Truck Series chase grid all set like Jimmy Johnson, here's what's next up on the menu on YouTube, as well as in our lives, as well as in our sports lives, and in terms of the NASCAR world and or San Antonio Spurs world.
Tomorrow. What you waiting on? Just give me a dirt road, the windows down. You wanna get lost on the edge of town in a Chevrolet. She said, give me 6 packs of Brooks and Dunn. If you want a country girl, you just found one. Let's slip away. Yeah, in your Chevrolet. Let's ride in your Chevrolet.
This copyrighted telecast may not be reproduced, retransmitted, or used in any form without the authorized written consent of NASCAR Broadcasting. NASCAR would like to thank all of our fans for your support, and we hope you enjoyed today's broadcast.